Holy Ghost fire, moving love by the madness. Welcome you. Welcome to Fire Life Radio. Welcome to Justice and Law. Welcome to Lawyer Darko Facebook page. And thank you for joining us. One share a day will keep ignorance away. As soon as you share the program, you join us. We ask that you share the program for us as well. Share until you can share no more. We welcome you to today's program. Share the program for us. And thank you for joining us. Good morning to you all, Enofosua, wherever you are. Good morning to you. Francis Appear, also good morning to you. Like I always say, one share a day, keep ignorance away. So as soon as you join us, you start sharing for us. That's the way we do it. Let's spread the knowledge. Let's empower people. Just don't be someone who just joined the show, but you need to partake in the show by sharing the program. Share until you can share no more. Share the program for us. One share a day. Keep ignorance away. One chapter a day. Keep the devil away. So let's share. Let's do the best that we can. Mr. Bansa, thank you for joining us. One share a day. Let's share the program everywhere we are. Share the program for us as soon as you join us, because today we are going to be talking about 7 years concessionary policy for children who have been living in the UK for 7 years or born in the UK and they have been here for 7 years. And we're also going to be looking at whether their parents can also indirectly benefit from this policy. Today, the Holy Ghost is going to come down. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we will also be looking at settlement and pre-settlement scheme. And shall be also be looking at how to successfully apply for fee waiver as well as removal of restrictions to no public funds. So call your brethren, call your sisters to tune into Fire Life Radio Justice and Law Solicitors Facebook page. If you are in a church group, also do the best that you can and share the program so that they can also benefit from today's program. Yes, let the power follow you. Power. Yes, jubilate and celebrate the gift of life. Wherever you are, shout and say fire. Wherever you are, shout and say fire. Fire! Fire! Share the program for us wherever you are. We're bringing you some good stuff in your way today. We will never disappoint. Yes. We come to conquer, we don't come to bow. We bring you success. So do the best that you can. Share the program for us. Hallelujah. Yes. Holy Ghost fire is moving like madness. Holy Ghost fire moving just like the madness. Holy Ghost fire moving just like the madness. Moving here, moving there, moving wherever it is. Holy Ghost fire moving just like the madness. Yes, thank you for joining us. Share the program for us. Let's get everywhere. Let's get anywhere. The program is just about to start. I am sharing as I speak. So do the same. Let's spread the news. Let's share the program. Let's try and get everywhere. And once again, thank you for joining us. My name is David Darker, Justice and Law Solicitors, bringing you the legal matters, the #1 legal show in the diaspora. Nobody can challenge us. So thank you once again for joining us. What do we have for you today? That is the question. Last week, we had a detailed look at settlement and pre-settlement scheme program. The countdown begins. What is happening and what is about to happen. Mr. Kwesi Kranche, thank you for joining us. you'll be hearing from me with your good news. So you have crossed the river. You leave it behind you. So today, what are we talking about? We spoke about this last week. And I did ask a client who had a very bad experience at the immigration post just this coming past Monday. And also thank you for joining us, our dear mother, Madam Kate Owusua Donko. You missed the song that I was playing for you. You miss it, and when there is a chance, I'm going to play it for you again. Then the song is called Holy Ghost Fire. By the days of Pentecost, fire follow me. Fire, 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 fire follow me. Yes, that's the way it is. Let's continue with the program. So the reality is that now Turkey, also thank you for joining us. Clotefio, thank you for joining us this morning. May the anointing of God and may the power of Pentecost follow you all this morning. Like I say, the angel that follows me doesn't wear white. He wears red because he is fire. So today's program, what are we talking about? We are talking about settlement scheme and pre-settlement scheme. And I will be talking about this until the last day of 30th of June. Because every week, every day, I get surprises. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go through my database for the past 11 years. All those clients who have passed through justice and law solicitors that we have applied for European visas for them, either being residency card, permanent residency card, and I'm going to go through the painstaking, go through their telephone numbers and call each of them back and ask whether they have done settlement scheme or not. Because I spoke about it last week, and this week have had a lot of telephone calls to my surprise. Some of these clients about 8 years ago, and they've just heard about it, that we are coming out of the European Union, the grace period is coming on 30th of June, and that they have to do settlement scheme or pre-settlement scheme. They did not know about this. And I was encouraging them that, do the best that you can, set up a Facebook account. I know some people don't want to come to social media, and sometimes because of the foolishness that goes on in social media. But I try to explain to them, I try to educate them, that even in the church of God, God's church, there are foolishness there. That must not stop you from going to church. Because at the end of the day, everyone is going to be judged according to their own works. So if someone is using the social media to fool about, it does not mean that when you come to social media, you are going to follow the same thing. Because social media can be used for a force for good. So I've been encouraging people over the course of the week that despite the negativities surrounding social media, they can also build positivity from social media and use it in a good way. And because of that, some people are now going back to Facebook because you have access to a lot of information. It's how you use that information that will set you apart from those who are abusing the powers of the social media and the positivity and the positive influence that social media can generate. Because now these days, a lot of people communicate to mass media or to mass people through what we call the social media, and in particular Facebook. So I've been encouraging people to go back and set it up and use it when they need be. So like for Saturdays, you can go there, you see me live, like Darko. When I come here, I do the best that I can and educate as much as I can. I am not a perfect human being, and therefore, it's not everything that I will get right. There are ways sometimes, sometimes certain things that you may say may be perceived to be not the wrong way to say. But we all learn. Like they say, it's only the fool who will lean upon his own misunderstanding. And it is only the fool who will never learn. But as a rightful person, as a reasonable, rational person, when you are stepping somewhere and someone say, yo, where you step in, it's not right, then you go back again, you listen to it, and you learn from it. It makes you a better person. So today, I will take some time and talk about the settlement scheme, pre-settlement scheme. I know that those who listened last week, they listened good, and it has helped them. And a lot of people have run to us for us to apply for the new card. And sometimes it must happen to someone before we can all learn a lesson from this. Because I did ask a client to send me an audio about what happened to him. And I also asked him whether it was okay for me to play it on here for people to listen and listen good. So I will see whether he did send the audio or not. I will see. He went to Ghana on his way back. They did not spare him. He was detained at the airport for 4 solid hours. All because he was holding a residency card. And on top of that, he was holding a letter that he has applied for settlement scheme. And I did foresee this. That some immigration officers or some airline operators may not understand the law, and therefore people are going to be detained, people are going to be asked all sorts of questions, and this can bring problems to them. So all that I've said to people is this: it is best to apply for the settlement scheme card or the pre-settlement scheme card, because by doing so, you get away with all these sometimes shenanigans that could happen to you at the airport. And this man here, let me see whether he was able to send it. He went to Ghana on his way back this Monday at Heathrow. As soon as he got there, he got stopped. And the questions began, the interrogation. Questions upon questions upon questions. And in the end, he was allowed to enter the country. But the reality is that, he was, I would say, fortunate. He was fortunate because he was able to speak to them. He was able to answer their questions to their satisfaction. And as a result, he was allowed entry. Imagine if you are someone maybe who is unable to maybe anticipate and maybe, have confidence to be able to speak to an immigration officer at the airport in a convincing manner. What would you do? I anticipated this, and it's for this reason that I've been encouraging everyone to apply for settlement scheme and pre-settlement scheme, and if possible, also apply for the card. The difficulty or something that doesn't make sense about this scheme is that the government is encouraging anyone and everyone who is European national, a family member of an European national, who has acquired residency card under the old law or permanent residency card under the old law, to apply for settlement scheme visa. When you apply for the settlement scheme visa or pre-settlement scheme visa and it's successful, the government then say that you are holding an old card which is still valid, and therefore use it, because if anyone scan it, it's still going to show that you have applied for settlement or pre-settlement scheme. But the reality is that when people stop you, when immigration stop you at the airport, straight away they don't have the scanning machines to be able to scan your card to show that in fact you have applied for the settlement scheme or the pre-settlement scheme. And if your English is as good as mine and you are going to struggle at the airport when asked questions, then it's going to bring you problems. So it's for this reason that I have been advocating that if at all possible, also apply for the settlement scheme or the pre-settlement scheme. And if possible, apply for a new card under the scheme, so that when you get there, The answer is already there, and it will help to prevent questions being asked. And therefore, you avoid some of these problems. And I can tell you this, it's going to get worse from 1st of July. I keep saying this because the grace period comes from 1st of July. The grace period will end on 30th of June. And therefore, so from 1st of July, it's going to be crucial. It's going to be ridiculous in this country. And Lawyer Darko, I am preparing from 1st of July because I know that there's going to be a lot of detention, there's going to be a lot of arrest, and I am going to make a lot of money. That one without a doubt. Because when you get arrested, when you get detained, you need a lawyer. You're going to call me. And therefore, I have to create a space for it. And therefore, you call me. Oh, yes, of course, I'm going to charge for the work. That is the reason why we are advising people. That's the reason we come here every Saturday on and on and on to advise you so that you do that to prevent you from, those hardships and also the cost that is associated with detention. So brothers and sisters, once again, if you know of anyone who has been given a visa under European law as a family member of European national, as an European national living in the UK, if they have not already applied for settlement scheme or pre-settlement scheme, they must do so now before it is too late. Because if you don't, what is going to happen is that come 1st of July, if you are European, what is going to happen is if you have not applied for settlement scheme or pre-settlement scheme, you may be told to leave the UK. If you don't leave, you can be detained, you can be arrested and detained, and you will face forced removal from the UK. If you are a family member of European, i.e., you have obtained your visa because of your family relationship with European national. Maybe you were married to an European national. Maybe your mother or your father is an European national. And you have not applied for settlement scheme or pre-settlement scheme. You will be told to leave the country as well. And if you don't leave, like they say, force will be applied. You will be removed from the UK. So all that I say to you is this. It's important that you apply. If you don't, you'll be arrested and you'll be removed from the United Kingdom. That is a fact. So you need to be aware of this. Because if you don't, that is what is going to happen to you. So all that I say to you is this. Do the best that you can and apply as soon as possible. The deadline is 30th of June. Today's date is the 24th of April. So that means you have May and you have the whole of June to do this application. If you don't, you become illegal immigrant or an overstayer. Just like any other overstayer. And once they catch you, you'll be gone. And I've said this over and over, that if you like, mark my words. Come 1st of July, do not be surprised if you hear of any, or if you hear of an European national facing deportation from the United Kingdom. Do not be surprised at all, because it is going to happen. Just like the Windrush generation, the same thing happens to them. Some of them thought, they've got indefinite or they are British by operation of the law. And when they were encouraged to update their status, some of them did not take heed. To them, they thought it was business as usual. Before they know it, Some of them face deportation. Some of them, they have died as a result because the shock of being moved to a country that they have not been for over 50 years. The shocking syndrome, they were unable to survive. And them days, all that they could have done was just to make an application. The same is happening today. And we are advising you to do an application just to upgrade your status so that you move with times. Because if you don't, like I say, as a lawyer, you come to me, I can only do my best. Lawyers are not God. Lawyers can only do their best under the circumstances that they are given. And sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. Like the adage says, prevention is better than cure. And the cure is today. And the cure is doing the pre-settlement application today. The cure is doing the settlement application today. I've had a lot of Europeans who have contacted me. And they claim that they have done the application. But yet, when I log on into the system, they did not complete the process. As soon as they finish the first part of the process, and they receive an email that you are starting the application, they think that that is it. The application is done. If you are European or a family member and you've done it yourself and you think that you have done it, and up to now, you have not received a confirmation letter that the application has been submitted. You have not received what we call the certificate of application. You have not received a decision, what we call the decision outcome, or the outcome status. Then you need to advise yourself, because you think you might have done it, but the signs are not looking good for you. I mean, this week, one gentleman came to see me from Netherlands. The nationality is Netherlands. And he tells me, oh, lawyer, I've applied. I've applied for my own children. I asked him 3 basic questions. Have you received an email confirmation that your application has been submitted? The answer was no. Have you received certificate of application? The answer was no. Have you received decision outcome or the status outcome letter? The answer was no. So I was a bit cautious. I said, look, something doesn't smell right. Let's go into the system and see what has happened. When we went into the system, in fact, what he's done is just done the first part. So in his head, he thinks he's done it. But I say he hasn't done it. And as a result, unfortunate for him, he had to redo the whole thing again. So there are so many people like that. And this is not the first case that I've come across. This is not a case in isolation. You know, I have come across various people who are in similar situation. So it is for this reason that today I feel that it is important that I do talk about this today. So that those people who think they have done it and they haven't received any acknowledgement letter, then they need to go back and cross-check. Because it's very, very important. Sometimes you think you've done it yourself, it's not your area, and therefore you don't know much about it. Also, I understand they need to save money, of course. When you can save money, you need to save it. But when you need to spend too, you must spend. Because at the end of the day, money is something that does not belong to anyone, but yet it belongs to everyone. You hear what I say? Say money does not belong to anyone, but yet it belongs to everyone. Because it's the same money that goes round. And you know, the search for money never ends. And no matter how much you get, it's never enough. Because like Bob Marley said, money is like numbers, it never ends. Because any figure that you get, there is always another figure above that. And if the search of money, you think will bring you happiness, or the accumulation of wealth, money, will give you happiness, then it is a joke. Because the more you chase money, the more it runs from you. And therefore you end up chasing and chasing and chasing without having peace of mind. But it's very, very important that where you need to spend for a professional to do it for you, to bring you peace, so be it, just do it. You know, so it's very, very vital. It's very, very important that we do these things. So our brothers and sisters, those who have not done it, I will say that do the best that you can. You have up to 30th of June. Pick up the phone, call Justice and Law Solicitors, arrange appointment to come and see us so that we can do it for you, so that you can have your peace of mind. It's as simple as that. So those people who are holding residency card, those people whose cards were issued before 2019, they are likely that their visas or the cards that they are holding were issued under the old law, European regulations. If you watch last week's programs, I came with demonstrations, how it looked like, and as a result, we were able to hopefully to make people understand the differences in the cards. So all that you need to do is look at your card, the front page of your card, i.e. where your picture is. And all that you've got to do is to look at the picture and ask yourself, this picture here and the written on the card, does it state EU settlement scheme? If we say EU settlement scheme or pre-settlement scheme or leave to remain under EU settlement scheme, you are saved. If we say EU family member residency card, you are not saved. That means you need to apply for the new card. The reason why I am encouraging people to apply for the new card is to avoid the madness that goes on at the airport. This week, I've had a gentleman, a client, who gave me a call. I said, lawyer, I nearly called you on Monday. I said, why? So what they did to me at the airport, I was detained for 4 solid hours, even though I am a holder of permanent residency card. And as I speak to you, I am also aware of a case of a brethren who went to Ghana, a holder of a permanent residency card, who has even applied for his mother and father to join him. And the visa has been issued. On his way back from Ghana, he got stopped at Heathrow. As I speak to you, this brother is at detention center. Because questions here, questions there, questions everywhere. His mouth, he slept, and as a result, the immigration officer says that I am not convinced. Where is your wife? We need to speak to your wife. We need to establish whether your relationship is still ongoing and whether it is genuine when even at the time that a permanent residency visa was issued. So this brother now is in detention center as I speak to you. So sometimes, all the penny for can you say bre ama. At the end of the day, all that I say is this. If you apply for settlement scheme visa, some of these suspicions, some of these interrogations get reduced, and therefore, you avoid problems. It's for this reason that I advising everyone who is a holder of permanent residency or residency card to apply for pre-settlement scheme or settlement scheme, and if possible, apply for the card as well to bring you a peace of mind. That's all that I'm gonna say about the settlement scheme and the pre-settlement scheme. Let me take a quick break, and when I come back, I will then continue the program. I need to drink a bit of water. I've been talking for 40 hours without even realizing it. So let's play this song for our dear mother. This song is for you, Madam Kate Usua Donko. I play this song for you.
It's
Yes, now let's look at what we are bringing you today. Today, I'm going to take my time and try the best that I can to explain to you about applying for fee waiver and also applying for the lifting of the restrictions. The lifting of the restrictions. Some people have what we called restriction of no recourse to public funds. And their circumstances have changed so much, they are now in need of help. They are in need of help. And as a result, they find themselves in destitution. We've spoken about this before, but the situation is getting worse for a lot of folks, a lot of people, and therefore there is a need for me to speak about this again, so that if someone is in that situation, they don't suffer in silence. Some people have contacted me, and I've been able to use my skill and my knowledge to help them, to relieve them from the chain of poverty. And therefore, I will say to you, you are not alone. If you are in a genuine need of help, book appointment and come and see us, Justice and Law Solicitors. I.e., you cannot afford to pay your home office application, and genuinely, you are in need of help. If you have restrictions, no recourse to public funds, you are facing homelessness, you are at risk of becoming destitute, you and your children are suffering as a result, then of course you need to come and see us, Justice and Law Solicitors. Give us a call and we will do the best that we can to help you. Okay, so it's very, very important that we do this. What I will say is this: the government recognizes that some people need help, and as a result, the law makes provisions for those people. And therefore, if you fall within the category that I'm going to be talking about, then please book appointment, ring us for Monday. If you know your visa is about to expire, you have lost your job, financially you are struggling, then of course you need to give us a call so that we can help you. So there is an application that you can make. Application for a fee waiver, and also you can make an application for the restrictions, i.e. no recourse to public funds, to be removed, so that you can apply for benefit. If you are destitute and you have children in particular, then by all means you need to get in touch. So all that I say to you is this, or what you need to be aware of is this: if you have been granted leave and there is a restriction of no recourse to public funds, that means you cannot claim money from the government. If this applies to you, then I will ask that you get in touch with Justice and Law Solicitors. 2, if you are facing homelessness and you don't have anywhere to stay, and you cannot afford a private place to stay, and you want the restriction of no recourse to public funds to be removed, Justice and Law Solicitors, we are specialists. We can help you, provided that you have a genuine case. If you have genuine case, then by all means we can help you. If you have restrictions on your stay, If you have restrictions on your stay, i.e. no recourse to public funds, once again, get in touch. We'll be able to help you. But what I will say to you is this. When Home Office are making decisions concerning such applications, Home Office will be looking at your circumstances. That would then mean you will sign a letter of consent to give them the power to conduct investigation on you. So what they would then do is to do credit score on you, credit check on you. Any bank account that is linked to your name will come up. Any savings account that you are hiding monies will come out. Any account that you have, whether it's active or inactive, will come up. And they will go through all this to make sure that you are not hiding any money anywhere. Because someone who is destitute, someone who needs help, is someone with no money. So you cannot be a situation where you have a capital hiding in a savings account and only submitting your current account. Believe in me, they will see it and they will know it. So if you know you have a big stash of money hiding somewhere, this application is not for you. This application is for those who are in genuine need. And you get in touch with Justice and Law Solicitors, we may be able to assist you. It depends on your circumstances. So it's very, very important that before you do this application, you yourself, you check it out. Make sure that you don't have any savings anywhere. You don't have accounts hidden somewhere, because what happens is this. They will do their checks and they will know that you are hiding money. And also, those people who have other people dumping money into their accounts, you have to be very, very careful, because if you are doing such application, you are saying that you need help. You are not getting help from anyone else. So if you have someone dumping money into your account from time to time and on a regular basis, then the person can continue to help you. And therefore you don't need the government intervention. So it's very, very important, once again, that you do what? You make sure that, your account is reasonable. You make sure that you don't have any contradictory evidence that can then be used against you. So for me, all that I say to you is this type of application for fee waiver, application for restrictions of no recourse to public funds, it goes hand in hand. And such applications, Home Office will need 6 months bank statement for all your accounts, whether active accounts, inactive account, whether it's ISA, whether it's savings, whatever the account may be, wherever you can hide the money, Home Office will ask for 6 months evidence. If you don't have it, then of course, application will not be successful. If you have it, then of course, they will be able to do a proper assessment and conclude whether, you deserve the money or not. So this is something that I think we all have to be aware of. Home Office will be looking at, whether you are destitute. Whether you are destitute. Destitute means someone who doesn't have a reasonable income to live on, especially if they have children as well. Because the government or this country, the policy is that everyone have to have a reasonable standard of living. And a reasonable standard of living is measured in accordance with those people on income support. And as a result, they'll be looking at how much money you've got left after the payment of your rent and also your council tax. Whatever is left is, if it is below the income support threshold, then such a person indirectly or roughly could be deemed to be a destitute. And as a result, such individuals may need the help from the government. So if someone falls within that situation and the person has got restrictions of no recourse to public funds, then of course, the government, there is every possibility that, this can be done this way, and application can be made for you for the restrictions to be removed. Those people who are also looking for what do you call it, fee waiver, many times people think it's that simple, it's that easy. If you already have an existing visa, all that I will say to you is the timing is also very important. Try and put in the application as fast as you can. And for me, put the application for fee waiver in 3 months before your visa expires, as this will give the Home Office sufficient time to do what? To apply, to make a decision, to do their assessment, whether you qualify or not. There has been cases that people have come to me like about a month before their visa expires, sometimes 2 weeks before their visa expires, sometimes a week before their visa expires, and they want you to apply for a fee waiver. The chances are the Home Office will not make a decision within that time, and as a result, individuals are having to borrow money to pay their Home Office fees, and for their application for fee waiver will then be refused afterwards. So all that I say to you is this: if you have intention of applying for a fee waiver, and it's not because there is a policy of a fee waiver and therefore you just want to apply for it, this must manifest in your bank account. Your bank account must support what you are saying. And it's not only one bank account. All your bank accounts must demonstrate if you have different bank accounts, because you cannot go and hide money in another account and try to fool the Home Office. It's not going to work that way, because they will do credit score, and anyone who has done credit score before, you will see that any account that the individual has, the account is going to show up. And therefore, it's very, very important that when you are doing such application, you are honest, because if you try to be deceptive, they will know it, they will see it. And I have seen some applications being refused because they are trying to be too clever for their own boots. So it's very, very important that we do these things properly. Now, the main topic today, we're going to finish the program on time because of other stuff that I need to do, and some places that I have to be, because I was meant to be, somewhere today, but due to logistics, things did not work out. That's the reason why I am still doing the program here today. I was meant to be out of the country, but I couldn't do it. However, I'm still there in spirit, so that is the way it is. Anyway, today's topic is 7 years concessionary policy, children rule. I was having this, interesting conversation with this lady about 4 weeks ago, and the child is 8 years of age, and she came for consultation, and I explained everything to this lady, and the question that she asked me, which is a bit, very strange question, which I could not answer her, was that, "Oh, lawyer, I am happy to do the application if you believe that it's going to be successful." If I believe that it is going to be successful. I took a step back and I said to this lady, only God can know what is about to happen tomorrow. You and I cannot say what is going to happen tomorrow, but we can make predictions based on our experiences, to make predictions which most of the time come to pass through. Also, as a legal advisor, as a lawyer, my job is not to make decisions for you. My job really is to advise. That is the reason why I am called legal advisor. That's the reason why I am called a lawyer. And therefore, if you are looking for someone who will be able to tell you that I'm going to do 7 years application for you, and that it is guaranteed, that person will be lying to you. Why am I saying this? Because in life, there are certain things that they are objective. and also subjective. Subjective means what we think. Objective is what a reasonable person will think. So sometimes you know, even as lawyers, a case come before us. We have our own sets of beliefs and assumptions and belief systems. And sometimes we can tell from experiences that due to A or B, this case is more likely to be successful or not. And therefore we make predictions. Therefore we make assumptions with the hope and belief that it will come to pass. That does not mean that as a lawyer, when I say it, that's exactly what is going to happen. That would be a lie if I say that to you. All that I can say is that you've got a very good case. Because in life, the only thing that is guaranteed is death. Everyone is going to die. The only thing that is guaranteed in life is death. We are all going to die one day. And I believe that it's universally approved or agreed that everyone is going to die someday. Because even the scriptures tell us that we're going to die until death do us apart. So all that I say to you is this. As a legal advisor, my job is to advise. And I'll give you the best advice as possible. And I will do the best that I can as possible to enable you to achieve your objective. So let's look at these two scenarios. One gentleman came to see me, and I've known this gentleman since about 2012. And every time he calls me, I ask him to wait until his child is 7. Every time that he calls, I say, look, at the moment, your case is very weak. Be patient until your child is 7 years. Because the policy came about in 2012. In fact, there was another policy called the 7 years concessionary policy. And that application under the old regime, 2010, if you were successful, you'll be granted indefinite together with your child. Come 2012, Theresa May, change everything, the way immigration laws operate in this country. So came up with the Appendix FM of the immigration rules, which changed a lot of things, including the 14-year long residency to indefinite leave to 20 years long residency to limited leave to remain. So now, since 2010, the 7 years concessionary policy came to an end. And thank God, 2012, under the Appendix FM of the immigration rules, indirectly was reintroduced under Appendix FM of the immigration rules, paragraph 276 ADE. And what it tells us is this. If a child was born in the UK, and the child has spent 7 years in the UK continuously, or if the child was not even born in the UK, but has come to the UK and has spent 7 years or more in the UK continuously. And when we say a child is someone under the age of 18, spending more than 7 years in the UK continuously, under paragraph 276 ADE, the 7-year long residency rule, the child can make an application for leave to remain on the basis of long residency being 7 years. Curiously, someone may ask, why 7 years? This is where it is important that as a lawyer, you must also know a bit of psychology, sociology, and criminology. If you have an idea how society operates, if you have an idea the formation of personality, if you have an idea where children, growth, child development, if you have an idea about these areas, it helps you to do a good job. And I thank God. You know, God works in miraculous, you know, in a different way. I do remember sitting in university studying criminology and criminal justice studies, a degree, and switching to law. And someone said that then you have wasted your time doing a degree in something that you are not going to use to practice. At the time, I told the person, look, there are certain skills, they are called the transferable skills. Because when you study criminology and criminal justice studies, you do sociology, you do psychology, and you do criminology, you do biology. That is why we say criminology is a science. Through that, I was able to study about human behavior. I was able to study about child psychology and development. And all those skills that I learned, now I'm seeing the fruit of it. I'm seeing how it's helping me to present a case to the Home Office, especially when it comes to 7 years concessionary policy. Because when you are doing such an application, it's important that you explain to the Home Office about the formation of personality in child development, how children develop, how their personalities are formed, and why it will be unreasonable under the circumstances for a child who has resided in the UK for 7 years to be forced to relocate to another country that he does not even know about. So justice and law, God being so good to us, and with the experience that we have, our rate in making successful applications under the 7 years policy is just going sky high. So I will say to you, anyone in this situation, anyone who has got a child who is 7 years, and the person is prepared to make such an application, I will say to you, please go to someone who has got an experience in psychology, a lawyer who knows about psychology, a lawyer who knows about sociology, because it is simply not good to say that my child has been living in this country for 7 years and therefore the child cannot go back to my home country. No. It does not wash with the Home Office, because Home Office could also counter the argument that the child can readjust to life back in another country because he is a child or she is a child, and therefore they can relocate. And so therefore it takes someone with special skill to be able to skillfully put in what we call persuasive writing, persuasive argument to the Home Office. You could argue that yes, of course, the child may be able to relocate under certain circumstances, but in this situation, this child, this is where it comes to the subjective and objective test. Objectively, of course, one could argue that the child can relocate because children are deported with their parents all the time from the UK. So Home Office argument will be the objective argument, that objectively any reasonable person can also come up with the argument that a child born in the UK does not mean, and living in the UK for 7 years does not mean that the child cannot relocate, the child cannot reintegrate into their home country. This will be the Home Office argument. And therefore the other side of the flip of the coin is to be able to put in a persuasive argument. And when we are doing such applications, what are the factors that we look at? What are the arguments that we put forward? Today, I'm going to go through with you. We have the 7 points plan. And we go through this plan and we also speak to our clients and ask them, is there anything else that you think will be favorable to the case? Because I always say this, a client knows their case more than the lawyer. As a lawyer, I may know the law more than you because I've been to school and I've been taught about the law. Because I read updates about the law, it is not your field. You might not, maybe be updating yourself all the time. And therefore, the lawyer may know the law more than you. But when it comes to your case, you know your story more than anyone. You know what you go through, how you feel. And therefore, it is important, it is vital that you yourself, you are able to tell your story in a very, very convincing way. So, it is generally believed, any psychologist will tell you that when children are born from the age of 0, Lawyer Darko, I'm giving a lot of tips here. From the age of 0, and when I'm doing my, when I'm writing, when I'm doing my representation, I quote about psychologists who have done child development. And I will quote them according to whatever, children, when they are born from the age of 0 up to the age of 7, they formed what we call their personality. We call what we call their personality. From the age of 0, from the age of 7. And therefore, when we say personality, what are we talking about? What makes a person? Every person has got personality. The do's and the don'ts, the likes and the dislikes. What makes them happy? Emotional development, psychological development. What forms them? What makes a child a child? Someone who is able to make decisions. What makes a child a child? What makes a child someone, what makes the person a person that he is? We all have different types of personalities. Some people are extroverts, some people are introverts. I remember someone calling the office and said, "Hey, Lawyer Darko, you can talk, Yes, I can talk when I need to. But when I don't need to talk, I will be quiet. I remember someone telling someone, but this man is too quiet. How can he be a lawyer? In his view, a lawyer have to be shouting. But I say to you that when it matters, that is where you need to do the do. When it doesn't matter, then at least you have to be polite, you have to be discreet, and you have to be introvert. But when I need to talk, I can talk till tomorrow. Never underestimate the determination of a quiet man. I can be quiet if they need be. And I can talk. Oh boy, I can talk when I need to talk. So that's the two sides to me. Those who knows me will say that, boy, I can talk. But those who don't know me will always see me as the quiet person. I can be quiet, but I can be vocal as well. So that is how it is. That is me. That's my personality. Some people may have different personalities, that they are shy, they cannot talk in public, and they never talk. That is their personality. That is who they are. Some people are braggadocious. They will just talk and brag and brag and brag. When they don't brag, they don't feel good about themselves. That is their personality. So when it comes to the formation of personalities, the psychology tells us from the age of 0 to the age of 7, that is where children develop their personality. So for me, it is important that at the age of 0 to 7, let a child be a child. Let a child be what he is, rather than controlling the child. This is part of our problems within our community. When our children are asking questions, we will tell them, quiet, shut up, you are a child, don't ask questions. And therefore, before we know, instead of the child becoming extrovert, the child become introvert, because we are changing the dynamics. We are forcing the children to be something that they are not. And it's not good for the child's soul. So the same token here. At the age of 0 to 7, children forms their personality. So it is for this reason that it is so vital that when you are doing 7 years concessionary policy application, you need to quote psychology. According to psychologists by the name of blah, 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 children, when they are born, from the age of 0 to the age of 7, they form their personality. So if a child forms a personality with the view that UK is my home, UK is where I live, UK is where my life is going to be, UK is the only place that I know, UK is me as a child, and you are telling a child to relocate to another country, psychologically, what are you going to do to the child? So if you are doing such an application and you are not able to quote academics to back up your argument, do you think Home Office is going to listen to you? No. So it is important that such applications, you bring in psychologists, you bring in sociologists, you bring in some cases, criminologists at play, and the formation of personality and child development as a basis of your application. So once that is done, what are the factors that you should consider when making such applications? One, you need to be looking at this. One, any significant risk to the child's health if the child is forced to leave the country. So as a lawyer, the first question I'm going to ask you, you as the parent and your child, do you have any health issues? And many a times when you ask Ghanaians, they will say that my child doesn't have health issues. And in some cases, unfortunately, and within our communities, we don't like diagnosis, which is one of the biggest problems within our community. I have come across a lot of children, or at least some children. From my view, I am not a doctor, but the little that I have seen and the signs that I have seen, some of these children, I could clearly see that they've got autism. When you ask the parent whether the child has been diagnosed, they say, no, my child hasn't got nothing. And then you ask yourself, why are we being defensive? Is it because of the stereotype or the stigma? Is it because what people will say about our children? That is why. Is it because of the label that will be placed on our children? Is that why we're being so defensive and not accepting a diagnosis or the fear of going for a diagnosis? You see, this country is different. This country makes provisions from people who are less able, either psychologically or physically. So please, you need to rethink. You need to reevaluate your own circumstances. If your child falls within certain category, there is help out there. Without diagnosis, there will be no help. And therefore, you will struggle as a parent. So all that I say to you is this. If within your soul, within your body, within your bone, you know your child has got an issue, forget about what your neighbor is going to think about you. Forget about what your neighbor is going to say about you. Because at the end of the day, if the child has got issues, it needs to be diagnosed and it needs to be documented. And through that, you can also get state help. But our brothers and sisters refuse to get the diagnosis and therefore they fail to get help. And the situation gets worse. The same people will sit there and complain that this country is racist because you are not prepared to accept that your child has got issues. And therefore it becomes a problem. It's about how that we will condition our brain and our thinking. Okay, your child has got problems, so what? The person that you want to impress, the person that you want to show that you don't have, or the child doesn't have any problem, how is that person going to help you in any way? No way. Whilst the government says that if the child has got diagnosis, there will be help out there for these individuals. I do remember my days at the university back in 1998. We had this lady, I'm not going to mention her name, and she used to work for the Sun newspapers. And she was good in her own way. So when we started the course, she was very, very vocal. Very, very, very vocal. Extrovert. I, when I don't know you, I don't talk. This is me. This is my personality. I try not to talk too much. If you don't know me, you're going to say I am quiet. But those who knows me will know that I can talk. That is me. That is what my personality is. So this lady here, The problem is she had, you know, an issue called dyslexia. But yet, and she was diagnosed. So for me, we were doing an exam. After we finished the exams, she was still sitting there writing. And I asked myself, but the exams is finished. Ignorant man, I didn't know. So I called one of the lecturers and I said, no, I don't understand. We finished the exams, she's still sitting there writing. It's not fair. At that point, that the lecturer pointed to me that she's got special needs. A village man from Ashdown, I don't know special needs. I'm thinking, what the hell is special needs? And then the lecturer sat me down and explained it to me. At that point, I said, wow, I did not know all this. So because she had special needs, even in exams, she was given 30 minutes extra because she is less able. So there is help out there even in the exams room. So if your child has got problem and you are a parent and you are not getting the child diagnosed to get some sort of help or a solution, how are you helping the child? You are part of the problem. You are not part of the solution. About time we wake up to these things. And when we see children who have got issues, we must not outcast them. We must treat them as human beings just like us. You know, sometimes you see people, you know, you have children with autistic needs, and sometimes, you know, their behavior pattern can be a bit challenging. You see people cutting their eyes at them. You don't know what the parent is going through. Do you think any parent just want to see their child causing commotion? Hell no. We have to be a bit understanding. We have to be civil. We have to be civilized. That when someone needs help, when someone has got a problem, we don't point our fingers. Instead, we should encourage these people. I've had a case, a man and a wife. The child clearly has got needs. The father doesn't want to accept that the child has got needs. And as a result, it's breaking a relationship. They are struggling. Because if you have a child with needs, every time, one of the parents have to be in the house looking after the child. And as a result, the ability to go out and work also reduces. And therefore, you cannot be doing full-time work to make ends meet. And therefore, you need to be around the child and be a carer for the child. And as a result, the government has got a scheme in place whereby as a parent, if you are caring for your child, you can apply for carers allowance. But if you are refusing to accept that the child has got needs, the child is not diagnosed, how are you going to apply for carers allowance? And so then for what then happens, there is a pressure in the house because both parents are working more than necessary. A child, attention is not being paid to the child. And if you're not careful, either the child is going to kill himself or injure himself seriously. Or the child is going to face neglect because both parents are working so hard to make the money to be able to meet the needs of the child, which is not a bad thing to do. But why can't you be smart about it? Why can't you get the child diagnosed and get help from the government? It baffles me. And this is a case, a man and a wife. In the end, the wife dragged the man to my office. I asked the man, what is stopping you from getting the child diagnosed so that you can get help for the child? It's not about you, my brother. It's not about your pride. It's about the child. The needs of the child must be paramount, as stipulated in the Children's Act of 1989. So it baffled me. And I did not spare this man. In fact, I blasted him. Because what he was doing was a selfish act. It's all about him. And the perception, how people may perceive him. Instead, you are, basically, you are destroying your child's future. Talking about that. If you are in a situation that you don't face that challenge, don't cast the first stone. Stop pointing fingers. Because the challenges that parents with less able child faces, that in itself is not a joke. the last thing that they need is for you to be casting aspersions. It's for you to be pointing fingers and criticizing them. Psychologically, you don't know what it does to their mind, what it does to their mind, the challenges that they face every day. You think it's a joke? It is not a joke. So for me, it is very, very important if you are doing such applications and you have a child who has been diagnosed with needs, then of course you need to highlight this. So for example, if the child has got autism, we all know that autism is a very, very challenging behavioral issue. And as a result, my heart always goes out to parents who have to deal with such issues every day and every day out. I mean, I sit in my office, and sometimes when parents come with children with, autistic needs, I can't handle it, even just for the 1 hour. They have to deal with it 24 hours a day. You think it's a joke? It is not a joke. My heart goes out to those parents who face those challenges every day. So if you are in that situation and you are making an application, all that I say to you is, there is nothing to be ashamed of. It is what it is. There is no shame in any of this. But our communities, sometimes the stigma is pushing people back from coming forward to accept that their children or their child have behavioral needs. And the fact that people will be pointing fingers. And for me, it's out of stupidity and ignorance. Because if you are humane and you see someone in need, what do? You help. You don't criticize. You don't point fingers. And I'm hoping by the time we finish this program, there's going to be a revolution of mindset. So all that I say to you is this. There is no shame in that. If your child is got needs, get the child diagnosed. If there's help out there, get the help. Because some of these behavior needs, if you seek early intervention, it can help the child. Some children grow out of some of these problems. But if you as a parent, you are not seeking the help, how are you helping your own child? You are part of the problem rather than part of the solution. So I say, if you are doing such applications, I always ask, and I am glad that one gentleman that I dealt with about 5 years ago, when I was asking the questions, I asked whether any of the children have got any medical issues. At first, he said no. And I said, okay, fair enough. When I say medical issues, do you understand what I mean by medical issues? And he turned around, if the child has got disability. I said, fine. Disability, sometimes you have physical disability and you have mental disability. Is there anything that I should be aware of? And then he turned around and said, well, my daughter has got sickle cell. But sickle cell is not a disability. In his head, that is what he said to me. And I said to him that, how do you know that sickle cell is not a disability? I'm not a doctor. I don't know either. But I wanted to get a better understanding. So I said to him, look, I'm not a medical expert. If your child is called sickle cell, maybe it can help the case. Why don't I write to the doctors that look after this child in terms of crisis, and let's see what we can get from the doctor? So he agreed. And what I did was that I wrote to the doctor and sought clarification. And I can tell you, the letter that the doctor wrote, such a beautiful letter. As soon as I saw the letter, I told him, you don't have a problem. I can guarantee you, even though you cannot guarantee anything in life, this application will be successful. Hold and behold, we put the application in. The application was successful. The man had 2 children. One of them have sickle cell. And a wife. None of them have papers. And that time, they've been in this country for 3 years. They put in the application. They were granted 2.5 years leave to remain with recourse to public funds. Through that, they have been given 3-bedroom house that they are living in. And thank God, the child is also improving all the time because of the medical attention and medical help that the child is getting in this country. So sometimes that is how it works. But if he was adamant that sickle cell is not a special need and blah, 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 and we did not write to the doctor, I believe in me, either their life would be messed up or they would have been in Ghana by now. So it is very, very important, that we recognize that we are all not the same. Everyone has got a problem one way or the other. And some people's problems are more maybe extreme than others. The order I say to you is this. When we are doing such an application, we look whether there is a significant risk to the child's health if the child is relocated. So in this case, the argument that we made was that the child will be put at risk by the UK Border Agency if they enforce removal to Ghana. Because this child suffers from sickle cell, and the sickle cell that she suffers from is not just ordinary sickle cell. Because sickle cell, they have different types. And also when there is a crisis, the behavior and the damage and the cause and everything is different. So you cannot just say that sickle cell is sickle cell and therefore you are putting it in one box. The doctor was able to explain the types of sickle cell and this particular person, the crisis when it comes, the impact on this child, and the fact that the treatment that this child is receiving here have to continue, and the fact that this treatment will not be available in Ghana. It was fantastic letter. Before even sending the application, in my soul, in my heart, in my bones, I knew that this application was going to be successful. And through that, now they have been given 3-bedroom house. Both of them have been granted visas, as well as the children, with recourse to public funds, because of the child's condition. So please, if you are listening to me and your child has got a condition, run to the doctors, get it diagnosed. In some cases, there are other help out there that will be available to the children. Because if you don't speak up, if you don't get children diagnosed if they have problems, who is going to know? No one is going to give them a chance. And it may not be their fault, especially if someone is suffering from autism and the child is not diagnosed. And I see the child and the child is just jumping about, full of energy and, basically doing certain stuff. It's very easy for me to sit there and say, you know what? It's down to bad parenting. Maybe it may not be down to bad parenting, but it may be down to, medical condition. And since it's not diagnosed and possibly you yourself, you don't even know it, how are you going to justify such behaviors? So please, if you are listening to me today, listen carefully, hear me out, and take the necessary action. Because it's not about you, it's about the child. Forget about your pride, your little pride. But you need to think about the child's future. What you need to do to secure the child's future. What you need to do to put the child in the same level as other children. Like the experience that I had. That this lady here, we finished an exam and she was given 30 minutes extra. I'm saying to myself, no, this is not fair. I did not know. But she was given a fair chance because of a medical condition. 30 minutes extra so that she can be on the same level field as us without the same sort of needs. So please hear me out and let's do what is right for our children. The second point that I will also raise, or I'll be talking about, whether it will be reasonable for the child to return with his parents to Ghana, for example. whether it will be reasonable. This is the objective test. A child born in the UK or a child spending 7 years in the UK, will it be reasonable to expect the child to go back to Ghana? How do you measure this reasonableness? Home Office will argue that a child will be traveling with his parents or her parents to their home country, and the child will be able to readjust to life in their home country once the child is deported or removed. Your argument or my argument will be that it will not be reasonable. And if I say it will not be reasonable, how do I justify that? How do I back that up? So you need to look at the family context. Does the child have extended family members in the UK? If the child is removed from the UK, the question is, with those family members, do they have, a good relationship with them? Do they see each other often? Does the child have any cousins, siblings, and so on and so forth? That is called the strong ties and family life in the UK. These people will also have to write a letter and set out the relationship that they have with this particular child who is making the application and the impact that it will have on them should the child be forced to relocate or to leave the United Kingdom. So the more people you get, community-based, everything that you do within the community, for example, if the child do, maybe tennis, the child do swimming pool, the child is in a club, the child has got friends who are British, all this stuff can be used for the reasonable test, and therefore these are some of the things that we could be looking at. So it's very, very important that we look at this. Thirdly, this is linked up with the one that I've just spoken about. Any wider family ties in the UK, they'll be looking at family members, uncles, nieces, grandfathers, whatever. You look at all this, you take all this into consideration, and you bring this up, and you get people to write supporting letters for such an application. And the next one is whether he or she is a citizen of that country, or he or she may return to. A child is 7 years. Is the child a citizen of that country? In most cases, that will perhaps be the case. But in some cases, the child may have mixed heritage. Maybe the mother is Kenyan national. Maybe the father is a Ghanaian national. And therefore, the child have dual nationality. The dual nationality, the question is, is the child automatic Ghanaian? If it is, fine. Even if it is, the question that you ask yourself, if the child is forced to leave the country to Ghana, if the father is from Kenya, as an example, the father does not have automatic right to live in Ghana, and therefore, in that context, you will put the family life into jeopardy. And therefore, argument can be made from that angle as well. So this is something that we should be looking at as well. So it's very, very important. The next one is whether he or she has previously visited or lived in that country. The child who has been living here in 7 years, has the child ever visited Ghana? Has the child, ever lived in Ghana? If the answer is no, it makes integration very, very difficult. So this is something that we also need to be aware of. The next one to consider is any family and friendship networks there. Does the child have any family or friends network in that country? If a child is born in this country, the likelihood is that the child doesn't have any friends network in Ghana. And therefore, if the child has got friends here, then of course you need to get the friends to also chip in with supporting letters. It helps such application. Any relevant cultural ties there, and whether the child understands that culture. So for example, the child who has never been to Ghana, how can the child understand the culture? If the child doesn't speak the language, of course, this is all something that could be brought up to defend such an application. Also the child's ability to speak the language are all things that have to be brought up, and also whether the child has ever attended school in that country. If not, of course, and the child attends school in this country, you can use all this to support such an application. So when someone asks, whether the 7-year concessionary policy, whether it is guaranteed, whether the application will be successful. There is no way that anyone will be able to give a direct answer, because all the points that I have spoken about, as a lawyer, I have to go through each point with the client. I have to go through each point with the client. And then based on the answers that I get, based on the evidence that I get, I will then be able to advise the client whether there is a case or not. And even that, I cannot guarantee that you bet me I am successful. But the more you are able to satisfy these points that I have just spoken about, the more likely that you are to succeed. And to the making in say uti kromwa na ba na se wadi emfie 7. I heard my pim kakra and so yes 7 years. Wadi emfie 7 obetimi aye application. But whether I say application ebe successful and I say any successful no, it be dependent factors are maka ho asem any evidence also ubetimi anya e dey support sa application. Na me can story be as a papa bi behu me from 2012 me ka chen so nya ntobo ase gise ne be 7. Na accredited 7 so no or the ose eye oyo obai so no nyankopon adom bibia so akọ se de bisi ka kire ne pepepepepepepe enti ye be hwe ye nuanom se obedi 7 a anya se obedi 7 a no automatically ye de visa ne be ma no there be we ebe depend ebe gina factors ayaka ho asemi o enti no yemfa entu ye kotodwem. Na question ayankrofo busubusa ne se accredited 7 ana me ya na say only 10 answer. The age from 7 to 10 is 3 years. Say ye wo akra wo kromu a na say odi 10 e wo kromu a ubetia your application for British citizenship. No akwa get British passport. But odi 7 so emrane say if the conditions are right, ubetia apply for limited leave to remain 2.5 years under Appendix FM of the Immigration Rules, paragraph 276 ADE. Entino a choice individuals have to make. Enti lawyer dakum me ubusa me say enti me successful means me ma answer that. The reason and say nina ebe depend the evidence awu no ubetimi a provide. Say o ma me the right evidence there, I will do the best that I can to make sure say o sabeka. Say me the right ingredients na chese we will have a problem. Enti the mechanic say utie me na se waba na se meant me amount answer say ebe ye. I did explain to you I say ebe depend on the evidence or the ubenya mami. And na masa kan ho asebo afidie so ano. Enti se mekan want ya see na afi no wate ase a by all means ubetimi asa get in touch na yetimi ayama na edi asumdwe abrel. Se opese otwen e ma credit 10 na kwaje British passport mana e no so eye option ma. But lawyer dark factors have become ho asem nyina no. Say ufi say I apply to you and you can tick all the boxes get in touch, we can get it for you. Media I have hope, I have no GDS so because edema be bredi ensa subo no. Eye adom ana ayabiye enhira amagana fo nyina. Enti obi biara wo hwe me yedamase. Na ye mame Kate owusu a anyumi ame ensa mo ema obiem. Na mi wi a na afi no ye ne Paradise City for akasa kakra na afi ye bi amatrofo no ayede atim yedamase. Sit down. Sit down for me. Sit. Good boy. We will soon activate the telephone lines for people to call in and ask any question that they want to ask. But in the meantime, we're going to take this opportunity and speak to Paradise City. Holy Ghost is coming down. Fire! Follow me, my Lord. Let the fire follow you. Yes, we got Paradise City on the line. I said power is going to follow you from heaven. You are going to be blessed beyond imagination. Your dream house is going to be bought. Yes, the blessings and anointing of God is going to be on you this afternoon. Have a dream. Dream about your dream house, and it shall come to pass. Yes, we got Paradise City here. They are going to make your dreams come true, because the Lord power is going to follow you, and it's coming from heaven. Paradise City is here. Yes, they're going to help you. Your dreams is gonna come true this afternoon through Fire Life Radio, through Justice and Law, through David Darko's Facebook page. Yes, power is gonna follow you. Yes. Yes, you can always have a dream. A man without a dream is like a ghost. A man without a dream is at the bottomless pit. You must always have a dream for the dream to come true. Have a dream even if you don't have the money now. There is nothing stopping you from dreaming. Dream today and your dreams will come true. All the way from UK to Ghana, and you will have your dreams coming true at Tema. Tema, here we come. Our dream house is in Tema, through Paradise City. Let's have that dream. Let's have that vision. Because you dream it, you work at it, and it will come true. A journey of 1,000 miles begin with a step, and a little drop of water make a mighty ocean. Paradise City, good afternoon, good morning to you.
Good afternoon, good morning, lawyer.
Na otise wo hono mo.
Nyame na dom bibia ye boko.
Bibia. Nyame na dom bibia ye boko na ena wie mete hana me ne me Mali. Oni Mali, say hello to everyone. We are dreaming about our Paradise City home at Tema, because I know that if you dream, it will come true. And therefore you dream it and you make it come true. So we are dreaming right now all the way to Tema Community 25. And then again, Madam PC.
Yes, so lawyer, that. As usual, I am information now. Udibana is very, very, very good and very to the point.
Thank you.
The application is successful. We here say we finding the right person. Always we are presenting the amount here now. But here or eduma amount bibia adana fancy now akuma atoyam. And see along the lines no and a Paradise City. Yes, we are operating for and Kopua Ombenya Dine Ewo Ghana. Tema Community 25 near war. Stress free is nothing. So why get it onto the right person now? Who dream of when you dying with Ghana no? The best is squashed to completely zero and we go for baby because of our experience no. Almost say Ghana for couple. Almost say either Nigeria and now baby for South Africa because of our experience. And South Sudan and Nana Kwanso in Tina, Paradise City. They all say, with me and a dime. UK, Abuja, anywhere, comfortably, with me and that. Came out any stories about, cement, I say, now cement body, Namie, a cost to Panama, cost to Ghana, prices, and yet easy, sir. It is a wow, see would die. Not a wild budget, so Yama, not a price is no, she is up all the way, Sana. Yeah, it's me hard, but if it is Sano, the only company not no one agrees. Okay, this is the amount, say anything, say, the cement is possible, the iron rod, the car, shell, the aquam, the I had there, and they are found with the anonymous, I'm sorry, now call you, who hear any information, after you know, who hear anything, let's sort it out, amount completely, and you know, that kind of service, no, now, amount of work, say, so now, Ghana, very possible. It doesn't have to be so stressful, so annoying, and you don't know, the senior will go about it. And you know, there were currently some community 25. There were 2 bedrooms, there were 3 bedrooms, there were honeymoon. And you know, there were move to Ashe. The same as the day can. Now, get this and come on. Even if only send your best start to cry, a work, my own send your best start. And the lawyer, I tell you, home, a people, Bomo and Kaye say, Open down with Ghana, so possible. Send your kind of just to dream it.
Yes.
And a reality.
Dream and it will come true. Now, Ebia, and that is the first time we'll be the Atwanamo. Until Wonka. And Tina Sankabit me the number and then website address no so at Dwa Amaya. Many pana time I'll be to your website. Aqua share the air course or honomo. Now, say, also get in touch. A number stinging us so with me. I get it in touch. Now, with me, I started at least the initial consultation. Now, I feel no one who or you know, because it's very important. I say a journey of 1,000 miles begin with a step. Who dreamer, you know, you need to start making a move. Said they are a bit me a bit true amount. And to go through the when details are to drama, I can bear with the power.
By you, and by your number here, plus 44 333 011 7724. And Pacho mobile me WhatsApp plus 44790847582 plus 44790847582. Email info@paradisecitygh.com. At your website www.paradisecitygh.com. Fire Life Radio 2% discount. It's still
mote dear or say offer na say True Fire Life Radio ana ote wo monka 2% discount on beti a free price ni mu amount na say umpewi na say umpewi ade na wope enti ne yemo ye homodin na you make inquiries yemo ye homodin na you get in touch with them because at the end of the day no obi kan sing sika ni bi osisanke be yanke wi ase everyone must invest in property one way or the other and very important esi betu sa anamon na yenya bibi esi Ghana say tema any akra there is no difference what na kema achekra 15-20 minutes wedru so ho ana was so tema up and coming area just say we bibi ekoso ho na amanfo so ete stars bibrate ti one match say eneme ekoso tema sa akodi emu nyina ate wo umpe wo pere enti no momode na monkonya baabi otema na mosmo fan hwe mo how far why because thinking na eboa osije bibi ma Ghana na yehu se yekoye ni enti Paradise City for yadamasepa na me sure say people will get in touch. And those who have already got in touch, those people whose projects are ongoing, possible. Now your experience, share with people. Because I know, say, sometimes people are very, very, very skeptical about us within our communities. Even lawyers, because say, man, Ghana ni lawyer, men kuhu bi da. Afi or justice and law pe, or say afi majuna change. And tina sana etie. Aya na empedinfo say batakeria doso enti ema yehu kremu papa na asma meka so say efie pete se odiwi na ma ebika na bontin so pete odiwi na ma obawiawe nka se enti no aya yemfa nto ya dwene mu ye sana etie enti no de metimi aka no enti no yedama se esem no mafidi na to na manfo so ahase e frefre. Say obi friend na say a question to Paradise City a ebe from mo back near mo answer amai obi a bebi kire wadwini bia na feel free like I says then better career doso enti ema ye hu kremu papa na iwiase so nsem doso enu nti na ye da ye to abontin punu mu no na ensemone so enti anampeninfo se ye chiche edin enti no ahade a ye ginan ye nim de ye ka me lawyer dako ejuma meye a very tough job. And you biana ebe happy with what you do for them. But even those people who are not happy crying, they will tell you say we give it our best shot. And that is how it is. But I thank God, I say our cases, I would say about 95% are successful. Very few ana ebia omonye successful. And so no cry no be shame na ebia mistakes bia in the past. I try say be correct anye. But cases started from the beginning. I would say majority of them is one touch. And until a month will be brave. Every justice and law. Last stop. Last stop to your legal problems. Sasuna Paradise City. A last stop to your housing solutions in Ghana. And to get in touch with them, and they will do you justice. Anybody be brave, I get in touch with Omu project koso. Papa Rastaman, utie, ono de offer me chikra ko okra without my knowledge. Oba no de report to buy. Minim de no hwehwe. Afọ na ko buy was say, "Eish, that project ni nye easy o. To no kra no be get in touch no atobi." because the area ne e develop pa na ono ne brother na ka say masa prices no kra airfo mami ade na mo prices na airfo sa
oh say you sure say na ye kan no if say you boa en kofona omunya
affordable.
Yes, that's it. Yeah.
And the aim no is not about profit, but we also help the Ghanaians in the diaspora.
That is it. That is it.
And the umpewe pana say, ish, there you. I mean, a lot of people have said this. They've compared prices, and they've confessed some of pricing is very reasonable, and what you are providing, is very similar to other places, but yet momo dear affordable, and also more plan very 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 simple but effective. People are very happy with it. And yedamasipa semos mabana pese mo boa Ghana for because ye di music na adoso obu otmi diska ko mane maami so nsi dama no na we blow ska no okoka osme ba no wani nso me obi diska ko mane papa wonsi dama no no blow ska no okoka osme ba no wani nso me obi diska ko mane nua no blow ska no o me echi ni tuma na ebusuafo agange up against you edion because koska de ko mu ina na chedi so and all banners obey that. It's like a wolf pack. They come together and attack you. And I Ghana so watch how many days. Watch how 1 month no sada when yaba. Obesa ko bi na 5 years aba. Wedi wutimi nya ni koto. Okochi tuma. Yeso ye nipa bonini. Unya no me achi na tum. Enti no Paradise City baboy die. Eni sama baso mbetena. Minim se etie force so get in touch. Yefa Paradise City eni nkomo Yefa Paradise City any konkonsa na enkrofo ente Paradise City na omoso so get in touch because say obuo wunua enye se ska ba ko show nua ntem na wo de aboa no e bia wano ene asema bebie wano aka eno kra yemmoa etimi eboa wunua bi from going to a howbim ni nyina eyemmoa enti Paradise City edamase semosma ba ese Ghana fo ayete diaspora so mba beboa e wo sa akwan ne so enti era masipi amafo asha se frefre pa about 1 o'clock yen mfa phone call na afi no by 1:30 men kope atidue bi ni na afi no men komenim ejuma eda yeso ne enti Madam Paradise era masipi mecha Mr. Paradise any baby paradises why show me na bye for now.
Bye.
Okay, now let's activate the telephone lines. Amana ididi jumano 07538 969 589. Ubetimi afre almaso se o question bia ubetimi afre. Near answer question na mo. You show na message p o frame ya unyame because we eduma fufu bia ese mikudi. Na emre p no ebi mo habit no. We show na no send a text message. We show na no send it or frame mentimi enwrem ni nyina we don't buy that anymore because that excuse se sababe ye a bit lame kakra enti so pese wo fra mesre pi ye bi amatrofo na tumu no yemfa endi dwuma na yenko ye nim mami awaba na se eja awaba 5793 be pacho wabelande yenko
me pacho pi good afternoon lawyer
also good afternoon ibi na di de say that's right.
Me pacho me die no. Me card no recent and I trust to free sexual. No, me nim say me a new card na bani bia.
Say you trust to preset or there that say you don't need to do anything else. Where we?
Because me now for can say I was me sign call ye card and say I'm adwin ye me na kakra.
Aye. The key ni say o hwe card no na akro so presettle la. And I say settlement. That is it. It doesn't matter about the color of the card. Because card, a be a more reddish and a be a more bluish. Na blue ones, almost has some issue bear 1 month to be. Now settlement scheme pre-settlement and I started 2019. Sad time the no issue no a reddish red in more or the pink a more active. And do not worry. The actual sono enu here settlement or pre-settlement. That is the key.
Almost say you flag the bid also.
And do not worry about that. Why? The here is actual settlement or pre-settlement. Design of the new one, and I guess slightly different, but the same settlement or pre-settlement card. Why? Okay. You do not need to do anything else.
Okay, lawyer.
Yeah, that was if you are did it, say, man, you do know.
Yes, I reading the
Richard.
Richard Manson.
Hey, we did the Richard Benson voice is also about voice. Okay, that's it. Bye bye. Okay, Usibit me afraid. Ofra, Dimbia Pibia, no one with him, and I don't know. When I do, who can any with him? Yes, Yanko. Usibit me afraid. Line a DD Jumano 07538 969 Obisi, please, the number for Paradise City again. Number no made it to so intimame ensa moma. Paradise City number now, where is it? Number no also a plus 44 333 01 17 724. Ubitnya for Paradise City. Say uko comment section neso made the website so at one. Ubetini idea akọ website obenya details ni nyina na wetini idea also wetini afra omo ene omo edi nkomo na omahwe emo a ombetini edi aboa because I mean what they just make the inquiry and see your situation because sometimes so if you don't do anything in your life and nothing will change until a home here say you have to do something for something to change and you're very very important. As you have with that attitude, and sana etie. The second call I am fan. Hello, 0356. Hello, good afternoon to you. Patrodi is sana kase free.
What's up? Midin
Dela, yete one country. Bibi aboko.
Yamiado. They were food to power. They to your
Good. Now, and then you didn't beat me. I am now.
Oh, Yamiadum, and then we dear, we some bisaka crab and a person bisa. The person bisa said, Nancy, now we program be about pre-settled, mis-settled program, no. In fact, can you send me 2 or 1 chair and come and get settled and can find a corner?
This is serious.
Can find a corner and quickly, because you're right, and I'm here. Me register me BBR, the pictures and everything. I did call. Now the question I'm person is how long does it take for the decision to come?
With the Home Office at the moment, they have been inundated with a lot of applications. And ebimo to me check akra. Ebimo so within 3 months there na aba. And na be depend case worker the workload. Any workload the case worker so any logistics because card is also no say when you confirm okra to get the card no it's what be a headache because there is a lot of demand for the card. Those people who have already applied long time ago are now applying for the card until ama e hososo no edema aye hey kakra and the key is say why year before 30th of June no eno na ehia. Their Canada just administration, which it will take place in due course.
Okay. Well, I'm saying, can you send committee where you know come to one and come from?
I someone to Unia be an answer down for beer now. What on a money?
And who I'm a friend of my neighbor about corn also, sir. I say, hey, near. I send it down to your work, no, dear. It's no, should be Canada. Yes, now, Susani, Yamisha Mobile said this about Munia Sutri, now Moboy educated.
Yes,
and one say, Yabacoso na yetia, Futu, from 1 year diso pepe, the tree piano. We have to come to your end and take the necessary advice and follow through.
Thank you very much for calling. Bye bye.
Okay, bye.
Osubetimi afre So or question be a also betimi afre the number near 07538 969589. You go so a ye twa mo call. About 1:30 pepe ye dwumadie no eba na wie. Enti so person ofre dia na che say this is the time I was say we dey ofre. Number no ebiem eye 07538 969589. Also ubetimi afre. And then someone I said, come on, they bremo. A 7-year concessionary policy. Say uti kromo anamo. Oba 87 years. And I said, Odo Baba 7 years in here. I cannot kromo continues for 7 years. Question Busane said. A good idea so about your application and I said I was at 10 years ever. If the condition is right there and you with your application in this 10 years not ever. Now you call various factors in a business appearance or medical condition here. And no, yeah, check. Yeah, assessment. Whether it will help the case. Language akrane kasa. Se kasa ni ko ni kroma. Kasa no tibi kan bia na. Hello.
Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon to you. Net say.
Oko na won so e.
Nyame adom enti yeti ase.
Ye da nyame ase. Na ewie die me dia de bia hye me ho kakra ma me kan kire wo. Da city ya wo ma betena wo ma be kan. Ya wo mo ye jani o me ma bo mo de ma ta 3 bedrooms no. Na sem bi wo na wo koka. Obi we ka se bia wo brage wo di post to ho. But as se me ka se wo ma ya de wo mo ye very genuine. Ti yam mo dia me tine nya me 3 bedroom ti me dia agora sa. Enti no bia ko no no sunko tobi daja ukona akoda hotel na yale aba e de sembebre na nam enti ukwa awosafo afita wa bie upuno uti uba bi din wasuma to din uti uba bi enti no na sretifo na de meyi me ho de nya se bia me brake na de me suma nya me 3 bedrooms ni bi enti na amanfo mo amanya bibia mo meka ni ehu se ade no eye papa. And yes, be at the beer, and I want to be an lawyer. No, now when to me and you want dance and Kumua, won't you come myself? And you know, I asked some lawyer would show over car, one for you, be the cafe. Would you treat your hopeful? Would you earn a mouth also? But then, Tessa, which you may fear for, lawyer matter was key, and then who's what check or call part now.
Yeni abre.
Wani abre. Yeni na yeni abre. Eja. Yempese ye bekasa.
Sa.
Ye dem paipo. Eye juma. Enti beda watipi nyame hira o.
Yeda wase. Said the emame esika ye no. Ewiase on. Aya na say Jenny bi da wani ma. As a Jenny no. It can never be finished. But say who started say who to anamo. When you beba hoso no, obewane say you have reached your goal or you have reached your destination. And to be oha wo hwe na dwunum nyina ne say eden yi metimi aye de atobi. Na bu aye bubo yi de. Me kwabena he, me wa he, anam de ahia akoto ahe. Dembom the first step ne say obi make that phone call to Paradise City. Ono mo tena say they will discuss various options with you, and then you have to make your own decision as to which avenue that you are going to use to reach your destiny. Aya eboa because obi ni ma china asem na ewiase dia ya pa ne say obekọ Ghana na ebia wakọ de obi fie na echina bi osade betwa wompoa ese anka enye wo no a anka ba Ghana kranka uni baabi da. Oh yes, obi wo ho a o pa wacho se betene ni fie enso echina bi no no de adane weapon na osa ede osa de bro esa de gu anim ase enti de meka ne se wan kasa se o mantwa bi ehye baabi a me free se eye bon kra na o de okọ akodem. No one can hurt your pride ever again that way. If we are saying there's no point in being rich, but yet your pride is in tatters. And the Paradise City abay there, Omada Roma. So 1 bedroom, and I bet me a na wato. Now the beauty of it, and say, uni okra na bet me their rent. Passing bia. So if you say 2 years bia na kwa Ghana, time this one, enipa netu, okwa Ghana, okwa 1 month. Oh ba, osa their rent. And you know the place is making money for you. Minimobia, such strategy no use here. Sesia ne dan our toy. Basically, what dan free. Because when you dan outside, they are making the money. And we are saying, Anna, if you must say, and yes, you can ye sidan, name of the nyansa, and ye sidan. Anna, and yet I'm more fat, and ye de worry, name of a yesubai. And we are saying, Bibiano, Sebio, and you 1 step at a time. A journey of 1,000 miles begins with a step. Obiaba, Yemfana. Hello. 2643. Good morning to you, good afternoon to you. Nampacho did the Seneca free. Okasana as a breaky cranty antini, boom my wine. K from London. Okay. Eja K, I did everything I am.
Question because the best lawyer in London because we are doing do one dance here. As a cafe, more power me. I would do my Magua Premono. The Ubia Nimamba, Ubia and Crata, the Ubia Noa Philly, Ubia and Crata, Namisha for Panis Masau. Now, we are not able to do may apply for me British passport. Now, may I independently need to make card number 1. Signature may sign was soon. A different from the passport from now, may still a coin. Would that have any implications around any way or so?
I don't think they have any implications. If they are in doubt, they will write back and ask for clarification. Because signatures there, it may change. And I say, it may change almost signature. And me how at all. Na cardinal, I dare say make na ebia hopefully be bu obi so ni. Card na ye de ma wo no. Enye a form of identity there be. And just a confirmation of your stay in the UK. Me ye obi application card ne buy no. Enye nipa ne signature na wo so. Oma ye mistake wo ho no. Which I was shocked. Enti me fa phone ebusa wo mo. Omo ka chem say it doesn't matter. It's only 2.5 years. Me another application which they are going to charge me. But card just a confirmation of your right to be here. Any form of identity. Enti the all passport ni mo no enu na ehia. Enti kwa kuma to em. Udi di ada. Why?
Okay, good.
Jackie. That's right. Yeah. Signatures, like I said, no, it can change. And you know, and also on Bebusawa, Ube Spain say be watching your signature. Full stop. But I will also say to everyone, say, I try say you're consistent, especially when it comes to signatures and names. I say variations Burma it lead to a lot of problems. As you see, I'm not say I'm conformable application. Free Ghana aba. You're refusing conformable on the basis of signatures not being the same. So to go to sign a marriage certificate, a signature is different from what is in the passport. Say audio call, I no more refuse. Enti aya consistent in signatures. Why? Medasipi. Ejake. Bye bye. Yadawasipi. Thank you. Also betimi afre number edidi dwuma no ene adaje eni poso ebo 130 pepepe edi dwumadie no eba na wieye. Number no eye 0753896959. Also ubetimi afre na oba beje wodie na oba be yudie. Say you 10 minutes pepepe na yedi dwumadie no eye den eba na wieye. Enti say opese wo fra besrew, this is the time to call because ye wieye na no yedi dwumadie no eye den eba na wieye. Yeni abako o say Paradise City for number no again. Enti no me be born sorry osofodiem said there amount for ebete na ometimi idea atu ho anamon na a journey of 1,000 miles is begin with a step. Obi oho a nisika ehye ne ho ewo kromu a oni nkrata immigration for bechina na oma feskani nyina ekọ na senya Camberwell ebisi 30,000 pounds. Obi a oye illegal sika we ehye wataso. A question ibusa se okofa sika no wo hen. Obi a ye illegal de se untimi nya adwuma and that means say sika no eye criminal proceed. Se untimi ye adwuma kra na eye criminal proceed. Enti no sika no ekọ aban mu a ye fe ne bona vacancy. Obi so ewu na nsenya ono se kohwe ya about 40,000 pounds. Ehye ne dem. Eno so nipa ni wu ye free police. Police ba ye, si police abe first card ekọ. Eno so ekọ aban mu. Enti ye nuanom se uni paper na se unye ade scan ye paper. Eni e free Paradise City ne fa kunya manchua bi. Sebio se bibi mpoto nye du kofi a o baby kitwa bi edi wutirito. So ba betina kwantuo mu den abrabomu ya na obeko fie na se ni baby eti na eye sad. I remember say one time meko fie man bi na o Italy ana ye born by Ghana abrabono aye den sisadane ensanom a chese wadane kwabinsani mihu no merewo pa se obi watimi aba betina brochire na afi o win sansama ne singina etutu na areho papa enti masremo aya edruba bia yenye very sharp kakra na yesika ye krabia ye mfa nkohye ba bia ye ho kiri ye mpo a ye sabetimi aka na enkofa e hawmre en case ni de mehu bebre Ivory Coast ni bi on so 15,000 obi oni nkrata ye che no ye di ni ko di fie police for first kan ko e obai wo pelo yam na ko fight case no questions and busa na answers o de ma me na enye me de intimatimi amoa no enti yenuanom etu obi a yemfa ye afutu na yesoso no yemfa enye de yemfa mbo ye ho ban na yemfa yenhye bibi mfrim because sabio 15,000 years kakuma ko de kotena fi mpo a akobetim de aye bibi enti yemame aba o de yemfa no mame aba belande mame akwa aba
ya ba o piesie
na etisen abrabom tisen
adom ni ayi ne mo mpai bo
ye de nyame ase na ene de ne betia ya ma o
yo ade America ne nkamfo ya se krofo be kan ha sempasa na mabada ya da pom team na mani aje nyame hira o na eye me ya pa se wo se de wo si boyen ya wutumi kan samu abi kura be ka se emfa wadwuma na obitumi ma wo ya adwuma na krata ba na opeso object kwa wonti aka na mentia sa asemna se entina safo no wo mo beja ho ama se wo magi biu ana sesen etiesemo ya kai nyina mote mo amoya sa no munyai Munyai. If ye was Subabio, you 3 ideas near Siana Cacra. Wait, dear, yes, I may use a walk on sono or can't ever standing in our big opera. Obia 1 year and near once and this a because now was a near one of our way up to happen. He starts to ban it there, and yet, let us say, I can't to ban Hona, Lydia, Rebecca, then a food be no there, a cat I am, but not so for a day. Yes, Ramala will be out this lawyer cannon. Back on our near this remark, Abdullah. That's now, and make our mistake. Be at the 2 minutes after the 2 choir bachelor. Yet, this frequency move banner. The names are the crowd by the say. Cat animal, a teacher, we be a teacher to see my yet, and cat a funny in a yesterday in our to sit. I have to send ya. I did be a yadro, but I'm for an hour. It means me who said that every time, no bet me a sign. I dare you might find an answer at the I don't know.
A future bit media many panny say, Brebre amount kamaniama. Onye and cratter and fofro, now uncle your replacement. Said ya utu kwayena uba, ubi enquatiti uquem. Gentia tiasa and say, said yes, ya quaqueno. Who say when you boss or what can you say, eh, now where did you be ni? Not after no. You say, and Shrema, and a chuchumba. Afe, Ukraquaben, and Fasunyaye, or Yerewahin, or Bawahin, address Ben Axiso. Anna utu kwansona oba edu be a wa bre enti no ye bebu se busasa questions we a anhwa na wa no akope akofom na afi akofa ensmp idea aba because me minimum bi a odu airport ye busa ne se da ben na oba kuromu a o frame me esa lo ya mpa cho hwe me fa ne ka da me ba kuromu a kire ni asemo enti no ana sometimes say pressure ba wan hwe yi wudi kra bi say na wo ka di foforo enti no
I wouldn't have died and I know it of the man to can do idea for cabinet digestion and come what's an impuni na ma me I don't know the American say, I am some court issue be I am some call the uncle be sound. Say, I dare say, yeah, now say, I have for France. Oh, I have some more.
Because who say, Uko Bus any pana? Abia, or no,
now we need more low and papa, and no one said, it's a wire for France.
Aha. Anna, so Uko Bus any pana crana, Abia on a dream, no because so okay. Now, what you can now bar, no question any pafovro. Or betitio. So Anna make us say ya Monday, my client to be frame. Settlement scheme in some year can home ya. Also drew airport, ye mani tenase for 4 hours. Questions upon questions. Now on one on no far fun. And you OP ya no dimika friend or say there be babe medi on passing beer. And you know, I did bit me the hawabano. Not just say what you want more.
And now I know my master may be a name. Monsieur Jaffrey, Island free, and some of the kind. But the I not the thing so almost a cow man.
Ireland for any day, or money Britain, a war arrangement to be da. Almost technically no, and cow but minimum dear, make us a door and cow woman, and remuno, they can still do it. It's a many woman, mayato. You never know tomorrow. Aha. And you know, me, I always have this principle, say, I am Crofosi Kanye. What the Maminias can be Namenka saying it. Name Mogeni catch Mrs. Kanya, meaning to me that. Because we are the saying it. And you know, so what you never know, and I'm we change it all the time. Even though you say all free Islander, and who here say obey. What you never know tomorrow. Ebia na
yes to be a 3 years to cut them. Ebia minim to cut them a woman dear. The nipper is for Dawson. Now for you will be Canada. What you take it to a while up a regular and enough of fire.
Ah, what do getting in touch? Why?
You matter.
And you did. Okay, me da CP.
Like, oh, Miss Medasi, me tell me near this apple. Now, let your family I having Papa.
Well, me no wow because I no pay bia me ni komrika. Enti me wo fie dia. Oti me wo fie dia so oti me ho ani. Me fie bia no odi mechi. Okay, me da CP. Me da CP. Oh, okay. Mr. Boa, me fro why? And me say if I many so and some me doso. And you know, no man say before last week. Let me say and sense bebre offer no be the attacker, offer no be the attacker. And you know, me say e ma me refi kakra. Ye ni abako so afre yem fa no 0508. Hello, mpacho din de say na ka say free.
Hello, I'm back to Mama Boat.
Hey, Mama Boat, wa belande. Mama Boat na ka say free. What is it? That be Antonio, Mama Boat. Maybe I can say. I didn't know say reading. I didn't say you're reading. Suddenly, the children are going so far. Anyway, you have a father, sir. I said more. Number boat before so starting. Birmingham. I say more. Wait there.
I jamia me come as and Obi to my the owner whom I meet.
That's right.
I am me back for what's all ye dinner or what say in your bedtime room casta.
That's right.
Am I see a mamma? Now, you call me in a year, rent you could be happy.
That's right.
Juma pa ya e ma da ni o me ni na ba ye ni ya ti ni bi a e trend mi a me ka ma se na ti wi a se e wo ni je ade no ye wi a je mi hu se ni ti kan ko trend no ye ti mi trend ya e se ni pa be se de mi hu ka ko e na a sha de ni ti we die o bi e trend the all trend ni papa any the all trend ni body ye de ye nya trend you need to say man I my papa no ye born a papa ya dey bia we bia obi e won chen ya obi be fa ni say e good obi so be fa ni say enye papa de bia lo ya na oka 1 month this 1 month for it.
That's right.
No ye no ye ni so ene ye e wa bia ye ma mi e ko ye de bia ka ye nyina any fire life inti ma me bo abafa nya me hira obatampa koso ana e waduma na de o ya wo ye ene ye u daati a se bi wini ho no ma wo for grace that time no e na ye be bo tu abe kan se market ye e be je mi hu je ni paketa inti ye ene ya o tia ye ka abo wa ba ama wo hu se de wo ye ye koso a ne koso na de beboa o mo a ebe ma o mo da ebe ye papa o mo o so ye tu ru ti kro mi na be ya o yira o jaba.
That's right.
So mo de o mo ru ti o mo ti na o mo enkoso a no mo yira o jaba.
That's right.
But the yes no enti lawyer mi so me kan we ba ko pe na you know me do ku bi so o ko Ghana na o pa o be ku tan for la mi o mo nyina basic passport na opa obe tibe the tamie dan den na onye fa ho ba ko 3 years now for 1 year.
Okay, so we get a British passport. Now say or outside the country, there is no restriction. As a time we beat me about back. And you know, it doesn't matter how long stay after. So they can stay for as long as they want. So obi enkita British passport, na so kita indefinite. And no na, you should not be more than 2 years outside the UK. And he said, ne money de omni problem. Ti ma me na share passport ikita no. And I say visa ikita no.
Mama no okuta yi endo o wari visa.
So are you na so kita
no, mama no go okuta British passport.
Aha, ti ma me de eni say o stay outside for more than 2 years. Enya sa waka. But also what am I saying? That's right. And Tisana Ebimoye, me madam for me too nefo about 22 years ago. Me catch and say, oh, apply for a British passport and send Obeko Ghana wako. Went ye also kita indefinite in idea, any British passport is the same. I know Buni could to him no koi. He's doing well in Ghana, but every 2 years he is forced to come to UK for 2 days and go back again. And to me was Friday, Monday no start to play move go back. Oh my yes you. And yes I mean definitely never say. And no adane say adane ye friend say adesua so. Oh who dey 1 year. I no say Ghana so no. Uje business 2 days e be go.
Omo I no ni accept no. I no ni accept no.
And say so adane
sometimes me na no my heart.
And my heart.
And you know say okay, the enjoy say me ready for the omuti ba o dey na so we mama the go be to me the account and say the teacher me transfer here. Na me pastor that is the no. So o pra o be me afa kwan bi afa so a obi nya British passport then and the only nkwa nko no ma ya any mushi.
Eno ane ne asem no. O nya British passport a oni asem bia. And you 20 years, 10 years kra na it doesn't matter. Now are you free?
Okay.
Why? And you know, mama. I bisa.
Second one, or say, or that way say
fellow.
Oh, what? Yes, oh,
benefit ana.
I said I was out more benefit here on my campus.
Universal credit.
Universal credit.
Hey, I say more.
Oh, that's so it's no. Oh, you come and stand or a na say, oh, mobile grand benefit, and I thought who means you cry.
A chromo and share any day benefit, no, so what's a chromo and a demand? So, what na baby a emremuno, unti minji. So, what jet na say suma, was some bear show be feeling in Abba.
And one of it, and also to your idea, no, and me national basic. They said the answer now, or about no new what now.
And yet,
you will be
na yaka, and yet, and also Yami in shop, and before Sobekono, yet was a pa any your friend is saying, last week, dear course so our North London, any Ghana for a so kakra, omoye, a sign of appreciation. You see, people don't understand certain things. A sign of appreciation. Aname, se mitimitina, a bima no say a krumua. Omoye bonifo, anasomoye widifua, and ye namiana casano. Chese mi hudia men country me home. Me, I can tell you plain. I say your krumua ka university krakamenko.
Me say, lawyer, wait a man means to man. Man means to man to me. The pastor, you put my spending 40 say, your mammy. Obey me to make Kumuha, obey Danny Dianem, or Mona Channel, next the dear princess and your ma, or mammy or Lemu, the Sunni pastor at the Ghana, a pommy or no, the painting Capran, or Nabutuman, so I command for food.
That's right.
Next or she'll query our best the moon, and your ma when ya, next or cut the and I said. Oh, yes, we are appreciated. They're okay. When on the bunny, I immediately.
Sir, ignorance, and a Bible say ignorance, my people will perish. Ana say obi ade ma there are so many ways ye did ask you. There are so many ways ye did ask. Hwe obi wo ho a me say obi bibi no me bibi mo obi no say God bless you. To be honest, I don't pay attention to it. E ye nipa ni suban. E na ba hu say nipa no. We appreciate you.
Ohima na pra no what we fi agye Ghana for be da oye ya ni asto.
That's right.
Opuni bibi akọ ama tete even so ma for no kwa ni asto say omotimi aye digital.
Of course.
Now we can them now to man ya trending dia trending.
That's right.
You nete ya ntifa nete ade papa say ni aye nete trending ya. So ko trending.
No.
Me the ball life radio ye nyina ni so aye trending.
Yeah, trending ko.
Me the me mani ha me pa me je pa me ni je pa mi butu anzo share.
That's right.
Because ade e papa ni me share ye nye na me share. So bi a ode ni na ko tia. Dokunu mu aye me ma so de me time me share me right ma second. It me share. No me dey no ma share.
That's right.
One
sham. Any be born on the cry. Me be born you na mo. O jad them the burning fire. That's right. Entino yeda etiefo na se any omon be support to program the last week in no. Eja media met me anya time anko but now I was there in spirit. Anyesem no so metie pa ekoye ekoye papa metie na me chese many krata tensu mame why are there pa pia because amamre hwe ewiaso bia wa amamre o mema wani enwu o amamre ho because it is who you are, it's part of you. But ayana funny said the very people more criticizing other tribes and I say other people no almost so they are ashamed of their culture and their traditions. It's a contradiction. But ninyina no ye fa na se emenyame wo mo se o madaje eko North London eko so koye o modi nyina no ye fa na se mo mate Ghana enim enti eda o mase anti sana edo mu nyina se enti no sana etie na ema me frɛ enti no me ye na me frɛ ne back na ebia obi kakra so de beka ho a na watimi idea ede aka ho enti sana etie enti ma me frɛ ma me back na kakra ode beka ho na ode aka ho because me say all frɛ back enti no sana etie ye hwese ye nsa beka na ye to na hwe me hwehwe ebi cancel ye wa zia woye sana etie sana so na yesi ofifi a oye mama babelande me say mama boat wo so na o frɛ enti na chese I was say ye frɛ back na kakra obeka ede apon ye no na chese ye de apon yesi panyini ni ofie adue sa so na panyini susu dware wie a na efie ensu asa na Ghana for de ana sebio ma menka se Ghana for mu bi mo en hwehwɛ ni mu nkwa na ye pagye se nipa na ewu na ana we nipa papa ana we yesei what ase a ye hu value da ye hwɛ Kwame Nkrumah preso ana Kwame Nkrumah ye di na tema na we dictator onye wuye yes Ghana president ye nyobi ate se Kwame Nkrumah da ade na ye nkwa ye de David don appreciate o ya ade a ye mfa ye ho odin e me support na obi gina ho a on the also be criticize any undermining pull him down PhD sa honhom no eye honhom bone se unya asempa enkamfo bi ho amia no so bibie wa no a na encourage nipa no so ya yes ama ye makra no obetimi kese ne basa wo o mobra na wonye yie da na wo decide akwasha akra na dwenu enti akra ni fi se bra wo mobi onim se wonye yie because mama akese no enti obenyini apa so o mebobra wo te wa so bi na ye oba enti ya no e di kan sem no ye very very careful uni asempa a obeka e di abo wo bia don't talk, be quiet. Obi bie wa no a na wo ka asma e be motivate person no e be encourage person no eno na ema enipa yetimi tu mpon enye se tem bia no na ye criticism unnecessary ehu ehia enti be sremo PhD honhom no mi hwene nyina mu e wo Yesu Kristo ni di so obi ya ade me bompa ese Nyankopon emfa honhom papa omfa oja honhom no e be hye nipam na ye mfa spirit something positive said your community no ye betimi akoye no enti no de me kan say ye moye homoden obi ya ade ye nkamfo nipa no ye encourage nipa no because o culture there a part of you. And then bring Jamaica for Timiko Africa. They want to know about our culture. Na ye culture ni kujeni pe na ye kakra na ye ferry. Na ye DCC. Say the panas be culture say, you know, where you Ghana ni where you pride, where you proud. How can you be proud if you can't put it on display? How would people know your culture if you don't teach them or you don't display it to them? We have a problem. We have a problem within our community, and we need to educate each other and educate ourselves. Sure. So won't me nyana so be ya president panel. Me personally, who say me sa we nipa mu da. Now when I see people dancing in public, I admire them because their courage and the gata omutimidi say we nipa mu no. Me ferry, me timi nye. Enti me ko criticize obi say ade no gina nipa mu sa because me timi nye nti. Dabi. Se me timi no be ya, I need to encourage the person to do it. Because at the end of the day, no, it's all functional. It's part of human nature. So when timi nye na so be ya, be quiet. When timi support na, be quiet. Some negativity spirit, the spirit of pulling down, ye nyai emwa. Na obi ye bibia, yenfa ya ho odin nyina and support. Because at the end of the day, no, obu a wonte Ghana din da o. But ohun say Ghana for ye or Northland de ho no. Obeti Ghana din. Oti Ghana din a and no culture na unique. Mame enko Ghana na menko study more. Obo hu se nipa no betu kan akọ Ghana. Okọ Ghana obeda hotel obetuaka a creative job am obi. Okọ Ghana okoye studies a obespend diska or top emu a creative bibia ma no. So there are other cultures in South Pacific. Obi wu a yekosie no one ye dru a yakoyi funu no e de abegi no twetwa pictures. Ene emrofunu bi akọ ho eyo mo nwanwa onso no creative jobs ma wo bi. Enti adebu aye ya ebetumi creative job am obi in a long term ebe bring exposure. Yenua yina yemfa yo honhom ene sunsum entechiri. Hwe broni beka chiro say there is no business like show business, and there is no your friend say advertisement than any advertisement. Adibi okra wo de wadwene mu fi sese bio eyefon kra na bia obi besua bibia free. Na de biam kasa asem we se ukọ baabi na so bi kasa wo tabon ko ade a wo de gina wo de tie bi wo de fa ne se ensemhunu kra na oka wo de tie bi bia line ba ko bi wom eye wo de a wo so ebeboa wo enti no yemo ye homodin na unnecessary criticisms no ye nyai because at the end of the day no untimi emwa ma obi ye na ade a ma ne nye na ade ka wanutum ubetimi aboa encourage people to do more because at the end of the day yenya yetikromu a obu a ye proud so ye Ghana ni mama ye Ghana ni papa ye Ghana ni neba ubusa ne bakra say what's the capital city of Ghana ne baninim ya woni okromu a ukokon beka say oh abochire nkra de sa now as a parent as a Ghanaian no what is your purpose? What is your use? What are you teaching your children? Culture, whether we like it or not, is part of life. My children, they are half white, half black, and I do my best to teach them about their culture in Ghana. And it's how you woman me a Ghanaian who pay Ghana not to mean church there. Not just how the problem crowd there worse than me. And saying we must allow the children to learn about our culture. Because at the end of the day, no, se Ghana ni ba, na so onim ne culture, oni Jamaica ni ba, there is no difference. Because omu nyina no, oma yiro mo chi ayira. Enti se ma memo, eni mpedimfo kakro mo yemu, bringing our culture back to life. They are teaching us, what is happening. They are passing on valuable knowledge. And my na se veteran na se be criticize ya. Yeso. And the Chinese for asha se edua koku Ghana for any abre omo ye dede. Chinese for ba Ghana ni abese yensu Ghana for ye dede. Wo the upper market on the wo yan change esuban a ye tewo na Chinese ni abe Ghana president. Na ye wia wasa impose tax na ovia odiskana ko China. Mark my words. Because ye no baby a de hia no ehu hia ye. De emfata no eno na ye de ahoden en edi akire. Yenya adwene sachira. So be a bibi. Na se enye cup of tea a udi yiwani ne call baby. Na emo memeka asem bia ya. Memeka asem bia ebeye negative na ebe put nipa ne off. All that you can do is to go away. Don't say anything. ufi so be boa omu ajai because yetia ye ma eyera ye ma enemy your culture and what we call Ghana ni fie ne ba entimi ka Ghana kasa bia. He knows nothing about Ghana. Into the Jamaica ni Accra omochi yira there 500 years ago omujina wa. What's the difference? There is no difference because the child doesn't know culture, nothing. Na ene ya ye lucky na ye maame mo demonstrate your culture say the CTA. Me feel say e wasanka ye ahun you know, we should be proud. I say yes ye Ghana for this is how we do our things. Fekwa me ti anyi sem no. I listened to it and I was proud. Me Proverbs any anyi sem I love it. Enti na be joke because lo you bube me ko sia ahimfie otumfo ahimfie na me hyeda ko omudi asema me ko tirem e ko tim peninsem. Enti me obi humia people make wrong assumption about me. Obi because we dey ni yiri ebro ni to onim hwe. Who told you? Sure, me minimum amamre pa. Minim peninsem. Ti so what say me buba me mani nyon me I'm teaching them as well. Eti e ma me wodo aba mama kasara me ya jinsem ni nyina mpo aka.
Me yo busy me that pe. Ajini ma setre me wura papa bi. Oh. Yamisha onu kun ate. Edra masina. Asemu e die etese. Me ho bi na so ya me de. Now lawyer what can say wo breti awo. Me anso na bre na ebeti am me ba so no me esa. Ti we dey comedy. Enti no. O say ajini ma kanya me. Meka ho asem na nanka msemi nka me de ye wura Prince Philip ye gan to ahen no brea wo ye pe asem a me frefre nipa bi kan ye enka kamera me nua wo no so ye ye dodo adwuma na na dupu asem a me kan ya tsena na sori oni enkope kwan ne enkoye ohema kuna obi a oni mi pa ne nim se me se me sori anopa na mbo me nya me mpa ya me bom pay mo hima so dana se na no ana ageni ma be kana na subaya Ghana for you me se me kana o me program so ntimi nfa wo bre ade ba ko ame ma Ghana for ati ase le se comment na o mo e tro ni nyina kan sama kase ya na wo mo e Ghana for ni nipa bi to ko bi se ntimi nhwe mo hu se ni nyina nipa hwe o ni pressure pa me mentiase se mi ti obi mamu na me ho ma ne mfaso me wokuo bi emu a me bo moden se me ho beba mfaso e wokuo mu me ko ba bi na me nya bibi nye wo mu a na magyan se me ho ni enti a me ho obi a ne ni suban na de a me ye no ye na nanam tete pa a o mo de tete ye ho adwuma e na ye na opani ba bi a mi su mama pa mi su ye me kono se me koka yen se me hwenum na mo me koto yi nan na ba bia me wura ho kase sa akra be ni akra na koye wo fra ne tumade hu ya se photo from akra tiesim na se the akra si sa photo from na afina me and some obi den some na eyade na Ghana fo binom so me damase mo amahwehwe me tira kwan na me Jesus baby ametiese nipa bi nim se me a baby akamisi abonte kura for be cheche ame na omu nim me na mo amunyi me so amahye da kan de mitieti akura ye me adan sama mi tieti na baby akukuri no na mbo eno so asene sen ya duma chedi o wo so hwehwe bibiye na sa wo so ha na me so ha na obi so ha ene be me apagya Ghana na to se mo Africa ye mfi aduonu ni ye be dia adwuma ya nke dai me dia me se mama mre me kasa ne mama mre na so me nya me so mpadi ema ni pe no eno nko ado so na me tinyo ya me se wo bragi ni ma nya me hira ye nko so nya ne sa ye nso so ye hu na se obi nya adwen no obi amfa adwen akọkọ obi dia ho a ye be da na ayewie asema me kan ho ba ko se me hwe se me hu ye se Bishop Manson ohima di la pomato na pampa mishra no na se ni kuna wa nti papa onye dai ontena se kwa eni panyi mpre ni mfrensa ti so obi ya bibi na so obi ayo obi bibi no onye ubia ento na hope Ebi ayade, nebi so asopa me papa. There so me de na we na be me so. Afi kura na yaka me ja fire.
Oh, god damn.
Kwanya wode kwa na me sire ya me. Wate.
Ai, mami.
Ya ura President Kufuor ha aka na nsa na o ma program no na be frɛ me na mkɔbɔ ne mrane ansa na o kasa na na che bi ni ba me to atrane ma ye bia ya me so me ntimi ya yo me ntimi ya me shada me nkusua na mo me nimu a me bisa ba bi ne kyerɛ me de ya no mo ma ye nsan kɔfa na no na be boa yen ni nyai ni ma tantan wo social media so na eno na binum so ye de no na ye mo fa na me nyam fe ntinda ya nyame hyira sasa we mu dia ba dwumadi ba ba we dia me koso mo kai me na de mi no me ye na nye dia mo ma beti se de bi ba bi ade ko ne nye e de me sesa no na emu ene minti jai asase abai
Minti jai asase abai minti jai god damn sanity e la wasipi ene ko e ka se be pontem no ene se sto e ko no o de yemfa papa ye last caller yemfa djubadi ni mra na wie em say after this the interview fa bi sanity hello.
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you.
Sorry, Prince gave me this number because he said there's some documents with you guys that he want me to collect for him on his behalf.
Okay, can I call you back? Is that okay? Okay, thank you very much. Let me say, outside the office hours, I'm going to